I just got to say, Tony, you know, there's a saying that says, I love you like a brother, but you are my brother, so there's nothing like about it. And I think I speak for everybody, well, actually I speak for most people in this room where we say, we love you, you are incredible. Congratulations, this is a really well-deserved honor. Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Kanaan.
Good evening, everybody. I did not write this. Laurie, my other boss, helped me. So, first of all, Dario, I'm not going to get into it. Otherwise, I think we're both asleep on the couch tonight, so we'll leave it alone. Well, I mean, this is the first time in more than 20 years that I'm actually not preparing for the Indy 500. And at the beginning of the month, you know, throughout my career, I've been slowing down as far as only doing the ovals and then just the 500. I didn't know how I was going to take it. I was actually pretty skeptical on opening day. And then there were some rumors here and there, and a lot of people praying for rain on Sunday. And but you know, I think at some point, I think I realized it's never only been about the race, and I think you know, they say once you win this race, you become a legend, and the celebration of your win never stops, which is true. I mean, since 2013, I've been introduced as the 2013 Indy 500 winner. So you know, when I crossed that finish line for the last time last year, I was like, wow, that's it. And actually, my biggest fear was like, how am I gonna be able to come back here and enjoy as much? And I think I was so wrong. I mean, if you guys watched me on TV last week, and all my friends made fun of me that I look like a cheerleader, and that I love Kyle Larson, and learning with my boss Gavin how to break laptops and kick tables and But, you know, winning the Indy 500, it changes a driver's life, and it's true. It was true for me. But if you guys think about it, I know I told the story many, many times, but I think I want to put in prospect what the Indy 500 and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway meant to me since I was 13 years old. It was April 8th, 1998, and in my dad's bedside in the hospital, I promised him one day I was going to win this race for him, and that night he passed away. The next morning, my mom came to the house and to tell me the news, and I had a race that weekend. And I said, Mom, I'm going to go race. And then from that day on, that was the beginning of my love for this place. And that's what I became today. It was really the obsession in a good way to be able to even come here, because I didn't know. I got told that was never going to happen. I got asked, what about if it doesn't work? I actually never thought of it. That was not going to work. But, you know, I spoke zero English. According to our kids, I still don't. But, you know, and then eventually, you know, you make it, and takes, like Dario was saying, you know, it took 12 years, 12 hard years. I had it all happening, but I never really felt that this place owed me anything. I was always extremely humbled to just be part of it. You know, a kid that, you know, barely spoke English, never even knew that if I was going to come here one day to be able to participate and be competitive, that's all I could ask for. And I think, you know, that day in 2013, I think that weekend was extremely special. I'll definitely spare you guys, otherwise we're going to be here all night. But, you know, when I crossed that finish line, I think, you know, it was a lot of mixed feelings. It was an overwhelming feeling. It was a fulfillment. It was a lot of conflict, thinking what it's now, because that was it, right? That was my entire life. I was 38, so it was 30 years. And then I was afraid that now all the fans are going to cheer for somebody else. I'm one. They don't care about me anymore, and that was going to be sad. And so, you know, but I have to say, you know, that there definitely changed my life. But it changed my life in a very different way. I think the bond, the friends, even my relationship with the fans, it's something that today I realize how special it is trying to explain to my kids. I mean, last year when we stood up at driver's intro, that was the first time that they all actually could understand a little bit. You know, our youngest, it's 5, and my 8-year-old says, "Wow, Dad, you're kind of like a big deal." I'm like, "Told you, son." But you know, and that's something that if we can inspire people, and that's what this place is, and I'll get to it. But you know, there's so many people, like you talk about Senna, an idol, and a guy that, you know, won 3 championships for us in Brazil, and you get to meet him, then you get to go-kart race with him, then you get to beat him, which is, you know, not bragging, but it was, and then the guy just, you know, basically you meet your idol, and then 2 years later you're in Europe, living in a race shop, about to do your last race, and he shows up in your truck and tell your team owner that he should hire me because I was better than him. That said a lot, and unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, he passed 4 months later, but that there, for the first time, it changed my life. I mean, let's talk about the other Brazilian that they call me Eddie all the time, and him, Tony, all the time. The one that speaks worse English than me, that is a fact. You know, apart from being my childhood best friend, he was a person that pushed me the most. I think we loved and hated each other our entire lives, and we made each other better. So, you know, for sure, he dyes his hair, by the way, if you guys don't get fooled. Because I have gray hair, Dario has gray hair, but he's still flawless. So, Gil, I mean, what am I going to talk about Gil? The big head Gil, his helmet's still the biggest helmet in my collection. It was a legend, right? A guy that in early in my career was a guy that I look up for. He was older. I got to race with him, and lately it was a huge push to make me who I am in the place that I work at McLaren, and it was my mentor until the day that he passed. We spoke the night before, so you know, I'll spare you guys some of the funny moments, but it was really awkward because we call each other honey, and people could not get that when we saw each other. Actually, the last F1 race in Vegas, I walked into the engineer room with all those guys and said, "Hey, honey," and then he said, "Hey, honey." Everybody looked at us. It's like we had to explain that, but Gil, wherever you are, man, thank you. And who do you really think that McLaren Racing will be the team that will tie us, all of us together? My childhood hero, Gil, and now here. I remember that, you know, receiving a call from Zach and just thinking about racing for McLaren was a big deal for me. So, but beyond those two, I think those three, I have a lot more people that I want to thank that helped me throughout my career and in racing and in my life as well. So I would not be here if you weren't for my family and all my friends. So I'm going to try to, if I miss somebody, just hate me later. But my dad, obviously, my mom, my sister Karen, who flew from Brazil just to be here tonight. Which she loves that she's called Tony's sister, and she makes sure she says, "No, I'm Karen." So here's Karen. Rubens Barrichello, my brother, that, you know, stood a hand, which is his birthday today. He's 67. My team in Europe, my Brazilian team, Luciana is here. Carlos, where are you, Carlos? Here you go, love you, man. Bruno. My three amigos, people that have been around me for years. We have Caio, Marcio, and Benny. What I'm going to say about you, Benny? You know, you quit your job, then you beg me for a job, then I beg Gavin to give you a job, then Lauren helps you, now you're here, you're back, so love you, brother. The countless sponsors, obviously I wouldn't be here without them, you know, Philip Morris, 7-Eleven, Joe DePinto, John McCain. I think John was CEO of NTT, and this is a funny story. Like Saturday night before the 500 in 2013, I was having a sponsor dinner, and John and the NTT group, they just had come in to sponsor the series, and they sponsor, if you guys don't know, the belt buckle for the winner, it's NTT. And I'm coming down, and Jeff Belskis at the time was, when they was running the Speedway, and he says, Tony, can you just stop by the table and say hi to our new sponsors? And John was there with all the NTT folks, and I said hi, and I was actually, Lauren and I were going back to the hotel, to the track, and he says, hey, I'm going to show you something. We, NTT, were sponsored this belt buckle for the race, and then basically he pulled it out and he showed me and said, save it, I'll grab it from you tomorrow. And we ended up winning the race, and from then on, we got together with Chip, and we had an awesome run together. So, John, wherever you are, thank you. Then late Bob Pryor, obviously, that retired. Dave, Maggie, thank you. Love you guys as friends. Eric, Julie, obviously, you guys became a family, and I can't thank you enough for all these years. Mark Borchetta, the guy that has the same haircut as me, thank you. Scott, Sandy, I mean, what can I say, man? I remember when Dyer went cuckoo and retired and was talking nonsense in Miami, and then my birthday you said, you know, he's retiring and I want to have the big machine logo in your helmet, and we've been running ever since. Lately, you know, Michael Schwartz from Smart Stop, my teammates at McLaren. Do we want to talk about you, or I'm going to spare you? Have a race to run. We'll talk about it Monday, Alex. Daddy, our new French acquisition. Callum, thank you. Pato is not here, but and you know, Roger, I mean, we wouldn't be here without you. I think you know, you had probably all the wrong Brazilians because you didn't have me racing for you, but I forgive you about that. But I really, and you know, everybody talks about Roger and the things that he achieved, and obviously the accomplishments and the way they present. But I will never forget, it's the little things that happened in your life that you realize who people really are. And I remember I had my worst accident in Detroit, his hometown, and I broke my arm. I went to the hospital, and I was in the hospital all weekend, missed the race. And I got discharged 3 days later, and I was actually, as I was leaving the hospital to go to the parking lot to get in a car to go to the airport, it was a black Suburban waiting for me. And the driver said, Mr. Kanaan, I'm Mr. Rogers' driver, and I'm here to take you to the airport. I was like, well, that's cool. Send the car to pick me up, and actually took me straight to the plane, to his plane, and he took me home. So that I'll never forget. Thank you. The Human George family, obviously, you guys, for this incredible place. Doug, what am I going to say about you? I don't know. I mean, we can talk about it, but I love you, man. I love your passion. I think Roger has the best team. You know, the stories that we spend talking about the Speedway, the times that I just drive there so we can chat, and I really enjoy your friendship and your passion for the sport. Mark, it's an honor actually to be here and be inducted with you. I think this series is really lucky to have the group of people that you put together, and Roger. And so it's about the people, and I believe more and more now that I I kind of switched places, and I kind of embarrassed myself as far as the way I used to be as a driver and look at the guys. Now I'm like, you don't want to be that way. But yeah, congrats, Mark, and yeah, all the respect to you. Steve Horn, Jimmy Vassar, Kevin Kalkova, Chip. We love and hate each other forever. We're gonna keep doing it. Thank you for everything. Michael, Brian, Scott, Dixie. Love you, man. You're a true friend. We had a bad one together in 2003. We both broke our hands. I still think it was your fault. You still think it's my fault, and we're here. But I love you, man, and thanks for everything you do for me, for my family, and you know, your friendship. Zanardi, whatever you are, my friend, I know you're around. That was that year, in 2013, it was the only 500 you attend, and you came to watch me, and you brought that gold medal and said, rub it, it's going to give you luck, and I ended up winning the thing. So, Dan, I mean, if you guys haven't watched the documentary, I'll leave you at that. Just watch it, you guys. You'll see what we all think about him. And Dario, last but not least. I mean, yeah, you are my brother. You're the reason that I got the job at Andretti, and I think a guy at your caliber at the time, to welcome me to a team that you were the guy, and accept that at some point we were really competitive, and you never once, you know, hated on me or thought there was something bad, and we had something extremely special. So those memories I'll take for the rest of my life, and then many things we did that we can talk about it. But I love you, man. Eric, my forever engineer. I think people say, and I think they all agree, it's the person that I abused the most in my life. So I am sorry, but I actually not. I made you tougher, so you should thank me, actually. So Adriana would agree with me. So I love you, man. I remember, you know, driving that Oldsmobile and Indy Lights from Columbus to wherever with that. Remember we bought that gummy bear, and I licked the gummy bear and put it on the inside mirror and stayed there for, it was a red one, it was black, 3 years later, it was still there, so I love that. But my bosses, obviously, Zach, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but in 1993, there is a picture around that you recognize me, but you won't recognize Zach. He's not here to defend himself, so. In SPY 93, I actually had a conversation with Zach. I don't know how, because I spoke zero English, about Indy Lights. And in 96, I came here to do that. Gav, you know, appreciate your patience. Appreciate that I only come to you to complain. And I love your quote, TK, let's not do this at TK speed, okay? Which is, I'm trying. Lauren, my other Lauren, McLaren, my other boss. Thanks for everything since last year. You know, I think the world out of you, and learning a lot. And sorry about all the complaints as well. My fans, obviously, the fans at the Speedway are like no other, right? I think we can call ourselves uniques, and then the countless stories that we have. I have people that tattoo my name and my face on their arms, which I didn't even do that myself. And you know, y'all have a special place in my heart. Obviously, my incredible kids. Should I call them incredible, Lauren? I mean, maybe. Leo, Max, Daco, and Nina. You guys mean the world to me, and I think, you know, every day I try to set an example what, you know, you should not do. And last and not least, my beautiful, incredible wife. A lot of people don't know our story, right? And I think it goes back. It's kind of like, it's weird. 17 years ago, we met at the pagoda inside the Speedway. And Lauren came to interview me, could not resist. And I gave up. So 17 years later, we're here. You know, joke aside, I told you that before, which I've never believed in that kind of stuff, but the moment I saw you, I knew you were my person. So it definitely, it's been a rough road. We've been through a lot. But to me, your sacrifice, your support, your dedication, your patience, and your unconditional love are the reasons that actually I am who I am today. And that's the reason that I'm standing up here. I think you should be here. I think I told you this multiple times. I'll tell every day how lucky you are to have me, but I don't think there's enough lifetimes that I can give you all the love and support you gave me. You definitely, you know, show me what unconditional love means, which you gave up your dreams to live mine, and I really appreciate that. I love you. Told you I was not gonna cry. So, and then my dad. I mean, I wish you were here, man. You gave me your name. We have the same name, the most complicated name. I could just call me Tony, and you call me Antoine, Riscala, Kanaan Jr., or whatever. You know, but you left me the responsibility when I was 13 that many times through my journey, I was kind of mad at you. I didn't think it was fair for you to put all that weight on me. But at the end, you know, I need to thank you. I think you're the only one that could see that I could do it. And I think you saw what nobody else saw at the time. And thank you for giving me the desire to be a dad, which Laura and I ask all the time. I wish we made 4 of them, and they're tough days. But, you know, I saw how much you loved us for the short period of time that you stayed with us, and Karen and I, for sure, I think we did okay. You know, you and I, that we had the same dream, and you left too soon, and you left it up to me to make it happen. So hopefully, I told you that in 2013 when I crossed that finish line that I was pointing it up, and I never expected to be up here today. This was something that had never even crossed my mind. According to Dario, I'm old enough to be in a museum, so I guess I made it. But you know, I did it for you, and thank you so much. And accepting this award tonight, it puts me in a great company of legends of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and motorsport itself. I think, you know, I always dream about winning the Indy 500, but the recognition of this caliber wasn't at all on my radar. So thank you, guys. And there are so many other people and fans that I want to thank, but I guess we have a race to race on Sunday. I don't, right, boss? I don't. And I just want to make sure that I want to thank you all for coming, and I really appreciate this award. And I'll leave you with this. You guys will have my commitment for as long as I live that we're going to keep this place at its best. And Roger, whatever you need from me at any time, in any place, I'll be there for you. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Indy 500 winner, and now Hall of Fame of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.